What's up, going on, everyone? So today we're gonna talk about, does money make you happy, and how much money do you need to make a year to be happy? Well, according to studies and research done, it really depends on what state you are in. But yes, there is a happy median, and during according to this research. So, does a higher salary make you happier? Yes, they found out happiness does improve with higher earnings, up to 500,000. Which kind of makes sense. And how much money should you make for a life of satisfaction? They found out if you want to be emotional well-being, it's between $60,000 to $75,000 a year, and for satisfaction on a global for life evaluation, it's $95,000 a year. Now, does income affect how happy you are? Income does affect how happy you are. According to research emotional well-being, 80% of people are happier whenever they're more financially settled. So 2023 emotional well-being. So the studies say conflict resolution reveals that there does exist a least happy 20% of the population. In other words, happy people make up majority 80% to experience increase of happiness with increase of salary without limit. So people are happier whenever they start making more money. Now, here's some of the articles I found about it. So the research found from Purdue University is the magic number is 95,000. So 95,000 is the happy number. So they did this study out of California and it shows that that is the new happy number. It's not 75,000. Now, one study said happiness peaked at $75,000 income. So this study was done back in 2010. With inflation, it's now $95,000. So it is not 75,000. It's 95,000. Now it does make a good debate how much money is to make you happy, because some research says 75,000, but when I read the research, it shows that you are more stable, more emotional well-being is better. So yes, I think you're at 75 or 60 to 75, you're emotionally stable and you're financially secure. To be happy with vacation and everything else, I do think you need to make about $90,000 a year, because you can go on vacations and do other things in that sort. Now, according to this, how much money you need to be happy according to the science. So they did this study in Gallup World Poll with 1.7 million individuals from 164 countries. And they found that life satisfaction cost in Australia is 125 and North America it's 105,000. So they also found out men score is 90,000 to be happy and women's 100,000, which that was interesting to me. Now, the minimum salary you need to be happy in every state. So Mississippi is the cheapest one at 87,465, and then Kansas is 91,455, which Oklahoma is 93,000, and it just goes on and on. Alabama. Let's see what Texas says. I believe Texas is 97,000. So 8% of national average. Now the highest place is going to be Hawaii. I believe they need to make $200,000 a year. Hawaii is 203,000 to cost to be happy there. So it does matter where state you in, because every state costs differently. Now, I read the newest article in November 22nd, 2024. The salary Americans say they need to feel successful is different from happiness with the wealth. So I was very surprised that Generation Z needs to make 500,000 and more, because the average person that makes 500,000 is not very high. So let's see what American people or the young by generation they have. So millennial 28 to 43 thinks 180,000 a year, 865. You know what? That's a pretty fair salary to feel successful. Um, I think that's very reasonable price range. I am a millennial. Gen X is 212,000. That makes sense because most of the Gen X that at that age should be making a higher salary anyways, because they should be in management or upper management. And then baby boomers is $100,000, 60 to 78. I don't even know how many of them are still in the workforce, but it kind of makes sense because they kind of stayed at the job longer, and $100,000 is pretty much really well for their retirement. So yeah, then the average net worth each year say to make them feel successful. Gen Z 95,000 9.5 million, Millennium 5.6 million, Gen X 5.3 million, and Baby Boomer 1 million. You know what? The Baby Boomer 1 million makes sense to me, and let me explain to why all this makes sense to me. I believe that 1 million mark makes sense because they were brought up with the news $1 million is a lot of money, which is. But retirement, their house is majority paid off. They have more financial room for wiggle. They bought their houses for $40,000, $50,000, compared to now the average household is around $300,000. I think the average right now in America is about $300,000 for a house. So you think about it that way, it makes sense because the average baby boomer already paid off their house, and they just think to themselves, "Oh, I just need $1 million," and the 4% rule. And a lot of them actually have pension plans. I know a lot of baby boomers that are retiring right now, and they're telling me, yeah, they have a pension plan. They also have a retirement plan. They got Social Security. So $1 million kind of makes sense compared to Generation X and Millennial, which the number is very close to each other. 5.6 million and 5.3 million for Generation X. That makes more sense. Millennials don't really have a house yet, and then Gen X kind of built up around the same time with the news. $1 million is not enough for retirement, and if you take the math on it, 2.5 million is kind of needed to make $100,000 a year. And if you don't have a house or anything else like that, with inflation, you kind of need more money to feel secure. So now Gen Z needing 9.5 million. I don't know why you need 9.4 million to feel successful, but I believe 1 million, it makes sense for baby boomers, and to feel successful as a millennial or Generation X, 5 million to 6 million. That kind of makes sense because then you'll be at 5 million. You're bringing in, with 4% rule, about $200,000 a year, which that number kind of makes sense. But that Gen Z needing to feel successful making 500,000, that's all due to social media. Social media has been blowing everything out of proportion. Kids in the younger generation don't even know what's a good salary anymore. Just because you have videos like Mr. Beast giving away $1 million, giving away $500,000 like it's nothing. In reality, that's a lot of money. And when you grow up on that ideal of easy money, they're gonna think that 500,000 is a normal salary range. So that's just due to social media. They're gonna be for a rude awakening. So like, subscribe to my video. That is my video on, does money make you happy?